Basically, we use Elementool for large distributed projects. Our development teams are primarily offshore, but we also have another development location in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and we have user base for user acceptance testing in Tulsa and also Virginia Beach. So being the fact that it's distributed, we need a web application or something similar to that to be able to handle issues. The prior methodology utilizes Excel spreadsheets, and it was always a challenge to try to find out who had the current Excel spreadsheet, where the defects were. It also meant that somebody had to take all of the input to all of the Excel spreadsheets and collate it, which usually took an hour or two before the status meeting. So Elementool absolves us of all that. It's current to the date, and we can sit and review the issues.
How did it come into your purview, if you will?
We don't really recall. I think we've been using it for at least 3 to 4 years. I think we had an application. There was a large application that we used it for, and then I think the company bought a contract at that point. So we've used it for probably 6 to 8, maybe as many as 10 large applications. A lot of the testing that we do is basically a maintenance project type situation. They're enhancing applications, making changes, extending functionality. So the audience is fairly small. You'll have 2 or 3 developers. You might have 1 or 2 business users. In that case, we don't usually deploy Elementool. But where we have a project like we just had recently, which had ran the QA cycle and user acceptance testing cycle ran, I think, close to 16 weeks. We had, I think, 40 business users, 60 developers in QA. And when it's that decentralized, you just have to have a tool like Elementool. We would have had to have at least one person dedicated to do nothing but coordinating and reporting on issues. There wouldn't have been any choice. And with the time zone, that's right too. We also have functionality. We also have a business locations in the Far East, Australia, Philippines. So some of these people also participate in the user acceptance testing. So you've got this off-hour set, and it would be a full-time challenge for one person for 16 weeks to do that. So Elementool is a steal at that price.
Great.
It doesn't come out of the box customized, but it customizes very, very easily. Most of the people who are either a developer or a QA person, tester, looks at it and understands the functionality very easily. I would say probably 50% of the business people that we have don't have any difficulty in understanding what they need to do. We make a lot of fields mandatory, so they don't have a choice. They have to put something in. The other 50% of the business users that have difficulty with it, I've taken screenshots and built a tutorial basically on how to enter basic issues and how to update, and sent that out.
Mm-hmm. Obviously, programs come on the market all the time. What else have you seen out there that competes with it?
To be honest with you, I really haven't seen anything. I guess it met our needs, and we just didn't look any further.
Now,
other than being able to have a canned webinar on training, I really can't think of a whole bunch. Most of the people who use the tool it's explanatory enough for most of the people who use it to be able to do it without a lot of instruction. I mean, once you get into building your own queries and stuff like this, and a lot of the business people do this because we're putting in issues that are part of system testing, QA testing, user acceptance testing, and then we test by brand. So we have an Avis cycle and we have a budget cycle. And these people are pretty good at determining, I want all of the user acceptance testing issues that are still open, that are listed as critical, and they do their own queries and it comes out just fine. So to be honest with you, I really can't think of anything at all. I mean, the remarks section is golden, but you go back and we have had a couple projects where people have said, gee, that the application is not supposed to support that type of functionality, or was supposed to support that type of functionality, and then we can go back to a particular issue later in the remarks, and that person said, no, the application is not supposed to do it, so they took it out. So it's great for an audit trail. Oh yes, I mean, you can look and see when an issue is fixed, you can see, essentially they're supposed to put in why it was fixed or how it was fixed, and they usually do. It provides an excellent track record as an audit trail as to what was done, retesting, no, it didn't make it, it's got to go back and get reopened again. People put a lot of comments in. I don't even have to push people to do this; they just seem naturally to do that. So it works out very, very well. I can't think of anything that's a major extension, with the exception maybe of customized reports of some kind, further and above what we're already doing. But I'd have to think about that one.
Would you use it for testing as well?
This is testing.
Okay, so and so bugs would come under that same category?
Yeah, this is all bugs, pretty much all bugs. We now are also collecting enhancements. Something comes up and somebody says the application doesn't do this, and the response back from the developers is it's not in the requirements, it's not in scope, so it gets put in as an enhancement for future reference so it doesn't get lost. So we do that as well now. We hadn't probably done that until about a year ago. So that's valuable too, because you don't lose it that way. It's not that a particular relationship manager or business analyst has that information on a sheet of paper someplace or in an email, and it gets lost because it's in the repository and you've got it.
Okay, I'll wrap this up because I'm out of time. You mentioned a webinar. What would you like to see in training webinars?
Probably the best thing I could do is send you the training document that I set up for this last project. It'd be something like that.
Okay.
My experience with the whole Elementool has been extremely favorable. It's been very beneficial to our organization, particularly since we're decentralized as we are between the business users, the development, and the testers. So it's been an excellent tool. It's priced extremely right. I mean, I don't know how you make money on it, to be honest with you.
Anything that's compromising?
No.
Do you have your permission to work with this?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. You'll see